Welcome back to the Sopwith puck build. We're at the stage now where we're going to start getting ready for putting our paint coat on. Before we do that, what I like to do is put a couple of coats of clear shrinking dope on. This I've done in the past on other models, and what it does, it actually helps stop the text from shrinking or going saggy, if you like, when you get out to the flying field on those nice hot sunny days that are few and far between nowadays. And because this is going to be quite a dark colour, when you paint text dark colours, they tend to sag slightly with the heat in the hot summer. So what we're going to do is, to try and prevent that, is we're going to use a clear shrinking dope, as I've just said. And what I do is I have dope and I have thinners. So what I tend to do is I add the thinners first, and what we're looking for is approximately about 50-50. So that's 50 dope to 50 thinners. Don't have to be too critical with it, as you can see. There we go. And then we just come in and we mix it with a brush, so it's all nice and mixed. And you should, don't know if you can see that, you've got quite a watery liquid. And all we need to do now is take this dope and then bring our section. I'm using the towel plane for this example, and gradually, nice even strokes. This dries very quickly, so you have to work quite fast and just work along the entire area, leaving a coat of dope. Again, as you can see, this is drying out quite quickly. So we'll do one side first. This, for point of reference, is the bottom side first, but it doesn't really matter what side you start. You just have to make sure you work quite quickly, making sure you get an even coverage over the entire surface. As you can see, it makes the text go a little bit translucent. The underside is actually staying this colour, so it just depicts our ribs. Get a hair on it, so just lightly pick it off. And there's the top surface done. While that one's drying, if I move that to the back, we can bring in our elevators, and again, same process, working quite quickly. Making sure we get a nice even coverage. I'll flip that around. Same on the other side. You can see it's quite a quick job to do. Try and keep your brush strokes going up and down or across, whichever way you decide you want to work. And that's done. And I've also got our rudder down here as well. Okay, before I started this, although I've covered it in text, I've laid this has been sitting up for a little while, and I've just gone over prior to doing this with a heat iron just to take out any small wrinkles that may have developed while it's been in storage, because it's been in the loft. The loft gets quite hot in the summer, and there were a couple of wrinkles in it, so I've taken them out, so it's just worth doing that as well. Right, they're all done now. Just need to let them dry, and then once I've done that, we turn over and we do the other side. Right, as you can see, I'll hold this up to you. I don't know if there's any help. That's the first side done. You can't really see from this because it's clear, so I'd say there's not much difference. But it soaks in quite well. You can't see any brush strokes. So what we're going to do is turn these all over now, and then we're going to repeat the same process on the other side. And here we go. This time I'm just going to roll around the edges, get the leading and trailing edges as we go. Working quite quickly because this does dry out quite quickly, and if you're not careful you'll get brush strokes into it. This is going to be eventually coated with Spectrum paints from Flair. Again, Spectrum on top of cellulose dope is no problem at all. You don't get no reaction whatsoever with the two types of paint. Spectrum is an enamel based paint, and this clear shrinking dope is a acetone based paint, and I've used it many times without any problems using the two together. As long as you put the acetone based on first, you won't have no problems with the compatibility. And just around the edges, make sure we've got everything. Likewise on this edge here, make sure we've got a coating. That's that one finished, put to one side. We'll bring our elevators in. And we do the same thing. There we go. You can just tell, if you do forget which side you've done, you can just tell, because this makes the covering a bit more translucent than before it's coated. Again, we're working quite quickly. Make sure we get a nice even coverage. And just run around our edge. Trailing edge. Down to this one here. I'm sorry if the picture's gone a little bit, but the sun's just come out, which is a very rare occasion, time of year. That's our elevator done. And looking at the stabiliser, that's nearly dry already, so that just shows how quick this stuff does dry. But before you start, I've got to put another coat of this on, which I probably won't show here, because I think this gives you the idea. But you do need to let this dry for at least 24 hours before you start putting your next coat on of Spectrum, or if you want to call it your first coat of the Spectrum paint of your final colour. And there we go. And that is as far as we're going to go with this today. So I hope that's given you a quick insight into the stages that we're going to go through for the painting process. I'll be back with more soon.